What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another Brand Doctor podcast episode for you. We will be streaming this live on Facebook like we typically do. And today I have an amazing guest in the fitness niche who has a very, very awesome journey to share with us. And her backstory is very inspirational, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. Without further ado, I want to introduce Sherry Thacker to the show. What is going on, Sherry?
Hey, Henry, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome. One thing about you, Sherry, that I absolutely love is your energy. You have a tremendous energy about you, and you know that type of high impact, high motivate, like high enthusiasm. That's very, very contagious. So first and foremost, that's one of your superpowers. I don't know if you know that yet.
Oh.
So let's dive in, because there's probably a good chance that a lot of my viewers probably don't know who Sherry Thacker is. So I want to kind of take it back to the beginning. I want to find out what your backstory is. I want you to share it with the audience. I also want to encourage the audience on Facebook. If you have any questions for Sherry, now's the chance to ask them. Just drop them in the comments, and I will, as we go through the show, I will be pulling specific questions for you, Sherry, to get our audience involved. So take us back to the beginning. How did you start your entrepreneurial journey, and how did you get into the fitness niche and to where you are today?
Okay, cool. Super. So I started my first business when I was 20 years old, and I had a dog food and pet grooming boarding store. And I ran that for about 3 years. And my dad has always been entrepreneurial. He's been a huge success. He's a mentor and someone that I've always tried to follow. And so he taught me a lot when it came to that. And throughout my journey, I had started quite a few businesses along the way. I ran a women's entrepreneurial network, and I had my own radio show on Montreal's largest talk radio here for 3 years. It was called The Small Business Show with Sherry Thacker. And I also ran our company, family car leasing company, for about 6 years. And I got to a point where I was really not happy with my body and who I was starting to become. And so I started to take fitness a little bit more seriously. I'd had a lot of entrepreneurial ups and downs, and I had some burnouts along the way and a few really hard crashes. And I was at a point where, you know, I didn't know which way to turn. So I just said, well, I'll start taking on a few personal training clients. I'll put a few extra dollars in my pocket here while I try and figure out my next business venture, and we'll just see where it goes. Well, 10 years later, I am living, eating, breathing, sleeping, my passion. This is something I was absolutely born to do. I consume knowledge like air. I'm just constantly learning, and I'm always up on the latest science. So I've been in this business for 10 years. My very first month on the job, I generated $10,000 in revenue, just because I was willing to give a lot more first than expecting to receive. So I started by asking the gym I was working at if I could have a copy of their members list. And they were like, sure. This was in like 2006, you know? So this was before internet and all the webinars and things that you see today. And I just basically went call by call by call. And I offered all of the members, you know, a free consultation. And a month later, I had generated $10,000 in sales. And that's kind of the strategy I've always used in the last 10 years. I always give a lot of myself. And then as a result, a lot comes in return. So today I run a very, very successful fitness and nutrition opportunity for both people in their homes if they want to follow me and do my programs virtually. And I also have a studio gym here in Quebec, Montreal.
That is awesome. So one of the things that I really want to kind of highlight of what you just said was the giving without expectation. I mean, a lot of folks ask me on social media, like, how have you grown your business so exponentially in the past year and a half? And I said, well, it started with mindset, and it started with, appreciating things more versus expecting things more. One of the things I realized is when you expect things, you're very 9 times out of 10 you get disappointed, right? It's not up to your expectation. But when you appreciate things on a deeper level, it feels like nothing can really hinder your progression or your achievement or your goals or getting to where you want to be. So I want to acknowledge that, because I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs get in their own way sometimes, when it's like they want all the answers, they want all the results, they want all the outcomes to happen overnight. And unfortunately, it doesn't happen that way. And as a fellow entrepreneur in business for over a decade like myself, you're a prime example of just putting out great energy, putting out great value, and getting what it is that you want sort of as a result. So here's my next question. I bet you $100,000 easy that the journey, right, wasn't so roses and peaches. So what are some of the trials and tribulations that you sort of ran into as you're building your brand, year after year?
So if we're talking specifically in the fitness industry, you have to be willing to go with the flow, because people unfortunately are not consistent, and nor are their lives consistent. There's this constant wave of things that are hot and cold, and then also people follow the trends as well. So you have to be willing to adapt to the trends, and you have to be able to adjust. So, as an example, in my studio, Thursday nights, could be jam-packed in the door, and it could be like that for 3 months. And then all of a sudden, where is everybody on a Thursday night? They're not coming anymore. And then it's a Monday night. And so you've always got to, kind of stay tuned, up with the times, up with the trends that you see, adapting classes so that people get bored quickly. So they constantly need new change, new stimulation, new ways of doing things. So it's just not the same repetitive thing. So that's always a challenge, and as a trainer too, you can get bored sometimes by continuously, counting lunges or counting push-ups and stuff like that. So you have to be innovative along the way.
Oh, I love it. It was funny. I just had a breakfast meeting this morning with the dean of business at one of the local universities here. And it was amazing to hear some of what academia is going through right now in regards to not changing with the times.
That's horrendous.
Right. And it's just, it's crazy how they're just so stiff when it comes to, because he asked me a specific question. He said, how do you see social media playing a part in business in 2018? I was like, that's a phenomenal question. I said, it's the way of business. It's where business is actually putting all their advertising dollars, and that's where businesses are really connecting with their audiences nowadays. And he said, yeah. And he said, so we have a couple programs in the business department that in the business school that are teaching marketing from the early 90s and early 2000s. And here the kids that are sitting in the class probably know more than the professor does.
I have to be honest with you, Henry. I joined into this program, CST or what have you, when my son was born, putting away $200 a month to his university education. And I made a call yesterday that canceled that deposit, because I'm saying to myself, when my son's 5 now. So in 15 years from now, when he's ready to go to university, business and the mindset and the entrepreneurialism, the way entrepreneurialism right now is just bursting into the online world and all these online courses and methods. And people are just going to get educated and niche right down into the exact thing that they want to learn. And they're not going to waste time learning art history unless they need art history, right?
Right. And so again, it's adapting and molding and basically letting the market determine what it is that you sell, what it is that you bring to the world, the value that you bring to the world. You know, I love the fact that you're constantly innovating, and you know, you've opened up the Pandora's box to me. Actually, before this podcast, we had a decent conversation about what it is that your business does, and it's so comprehensive. I've never seen an online program in the fitness space so comprehensive. I mean, you tackle every angle that like you can imagine when it comes to helping you, you know, live a happier life, live a healthier life. So let me just ask the question, you know, who is your target audience? Who do you truly want to serve? And what big problem are you solving for them?
So most of my clients are mothers. They are mothers of young children in particular, probably at their second or third child. They, they did the boot camp bride thing. They got in crazy shape to get married. They had kids. And the next thing you know, they kind of, they get caught up in the kids and the life of everything. And then they look down and they're like, 20, 25 pounds overweight. They're not eating properly because they're just so busy that they're always on the go. So they're eating, these packaged foods that are on the go. And all of a sudden, because those packaged foods are so damaging to our bodies, to our brains, and they just mess with our gut bacteria, and they really clog up all of our systems. So it suppresses everything. It suppresses your immune system, your sex drive, your motivation, your energy. So the foods that you eat dramatically impact who you are and who you become. So these women wake up one day and they're saying, who am I anymore? I'm overweight, I'm tired, I'm demotivated, I'm depressed, I might be on antidepressants. And now they're at a stage where they're like, I don't want to live like this, not even another day. And that's usually when they come looking for me.
So what are some of the features and benefits of your program?
So what we've done in our 6-week challenge is we've plugged every hole. Okay. We sat down and we said, okay, what is absolutely every problem that women, mothers of young children have when it comes to working out, and how do we solve those problems? So the first thing what we did, the major one, is the accountability. Is that women are spending thousands of dollars on gym memberships and magazines and this program and that program and skin cream and things to try and make them look pretty. And at the end of the day, it's the follow through, it's the consistency, it's the small gradual changes day by day. And our accountability coaches literally take you by the hand and they check up on you. You have to send your pictures to them for your food so that they can look at what you're doing with your food. They can give you suggestions on, okay, this portion size was a little too much, or, I'd add a lot more greens in there and take out some of those carbs or whatever. And the beauty about our program is that we do not give you a meal plan, and we do not give you a fitness plan. Over the 6 weeks, we teach you how you can figure that out for yourself, because you're the only person that can tell you what works for your body. And any piece of paper is not going to get that done for you. So until you sit down and go through university and you start to evaluate yourself and what foods work for you, which ones don't work for you, and so on, that's what our program does. It educates you on how to listen to the body after we've taught you how to clean and cleanse and detoxify out the body. So then, when it came to fitness, we gave you every possibility to get your fitness in. If you wanted a live coach with me, we use software like this, Zoom, where we'll do virtual live classes with you right in your own living room. I see you, you see me. You can come to my studio. If you can't make a live class, you can access our pre-recorded instructional videos. So when you tell me, that you couldn't work out today, and I'm saying, okay, which one of those 3 options couldn't work for you? Because if even those 3 options didn't work for you, let's get to the staircase. Let's go up and down the stairs. Let's walk down the street. Let's do burpees in your living room. Let's get it done. So, our coaches are there, like just making sure that we're holding you accountable, because 6 weeks ago, you came to us with a mission, a goal. You were tired of being a certain way, and we're holding you accountable to what you told us you wanted to do. So we're not shoving anything in your face. You're telling us what you want, and we're going to hold you accountable to those goals. And the fitness and the nutrition is the vehicle to transformation. It's really that part of you that is going to help you get to the next steps and the next level. And then we have a retention rate of 80%. So the majority of the people that come through our program, they don't go anywhere. They stay exactly where they are. They stay with us on a monthly basis. And that's where we tackle things like understanding the chemicals and the toxins where your body is exposed to, teaching you about laundry detergents and toothpaste and deodorants and such things that are causing so much toxins in your body. And then through coaching and mentoring, we help you with sleeping patterns and managing stress levels and life balance, helping you mend relationships, helping you deal with feeling overwhelmed and needing organization. So it's like the full lifestyle, full transformation is what we give you with a nice pretty bow. In fact, it's a pink shiny envelope.
I love it. And I feel like that is what makes your program so different. I mean, because it's fully comprehensive. And, we were talking about this again offline, and we were saying how even in my industry, there's so many folks out there that are just this lip service. They go out and they say, oh, you should do this, this, and this, but they don't give you the practical ways. They don't handhold. They don't see it through to the end. They don't give you all of the equipment or knowledge you need to actually execute on it. And so I really want to congratulate you on creating such a program that is like just such a all in and, an all in experience, right? I see one of your members here in the Facebook comments, Christy Balau, I think she says, yeah, she says it's an amazing program. So some of your fans are coming in now,
yay,
and backing you up. I absolutely love it. So let's take this. So that's how you serve your audience, and I absolutely love it. Let's take it back to entrepreneurship and building your brand. And I, if you don't mind opening up and maybe getting a little bit deeper personal with us, what were some of the biggest, besides innovating, right? What were some of the biggest sort of, I don't want to say discouragement, but some of the things that really made you feel like demotivated you, some of the things that like held you back or got you thinking, am I in the right space? Am I using my time wisely? Like, what were some of the things that frustrated the hell out of you, and how did you overcome those?
Well, I have a story for you that goes along those lines. Not quite, but last fall, my company had a major traumatic event happen to it. And what ended up happening, without getting too deep into the details, I had a client who was aggressively trying to pull other clients out of my classes and was a little shit disturber. You know what I mean? Like just gossiping behind my back, telling stories, all this kind of stuff. And, I started to get wind of this negativity, and I also started to feel this manipulation because she was, kind of two-faced with me, and, was a bully in many sense. So I had to fire her as a client. And to my dismay, unfortunately, it was a very heartbreaking moment, because I'd had clients that were with me for 5, 7, 9 years. And to this day, I don't really know exactly what happened because no one has ever had the guts to come and talk to me face to face to tell me one-on-one. But she came up with, I don't know how many hideous stories, lies, whatever she could do to try and pull out all of my clients. And shockingly, well, I wouldn't say it shockingly because, you know, I'm not going to criticize. I've got my own opinions about how all that went down. I will share with you that I was tremendously heartbroken, crushed, just in the as a trainer, you get very personal with your clients. You're friends. Like, you see each other 2-3 times a week. You're on the gym floor. You're together for an hour. You're women. You're going to talk. So you get to know these clients, and I'd had these clients with me for many years. And I was heartbroken that they would, in a flash, turn their backs, but also not come and even like just ask me, Cher, like, I've known you for 5 years. Like, this doesn't sound like you at all. Like, what, can you explain this to me? Can you tell me what's happening? Because this doesn't sound right. All to say that this happened over a period of about 4 months, and just week by week, I just started to watch client by client leave the door. And it was a very tough time. You know, you're questioning yourself, you're questioning your character, you're in dismay, you're wondering what you could have done, what you could have said. I could understand if, you know, I'd slept with somebody's husband, you know, or something, you know, I could understand if there was something tangible to put to, you know, such a horrific thing to happen. But at the end of the day, Henry, you know who you are as a person. You know who you are. You know what you stand for. If you're a good person, you know you're a good person. And, you know, I had that confidence. I have changed thousands of lives, thousands. I have testimonials, video testimonials, pictures, before and after pictures, texts. I have every social proof you could possibly want to back up anything that I do in the fitness industry. So with that confidence and the self-assurance within yourself, your own personal self-esteem, you know, you just have no choice. You have to rock it. You have to pick. I'm a single mom. I don't have a boyfriend. There's no second income going on in my house. So I've got to raise my son. I got to pay all the bills in here. There's no time to lie in bed and cry your eyes out, right? You need to pick up your socks. You need to get out there and you need to solve the problem. And that's what I did. I found a solution that was going to work well for my company. And you know, Henry, the result of that solution quadrupled my business in 4 months. You know, like, I was just looking at my stats yesterday, and, you know, if there's a scale, like, this was my attendance, you know, for the 3 years prior, and like, this is my attendance, you know, now. So some things happen for a reason, and I think the universe always is out there testing you and trying to make sure that you're growing and getting stronger. And when you're faced with a challenge, you got to figure it out. So I'm happy that it worked out the way it did. And it was through, you know, I had 3 loyal people that really stuck by me. And through them, I cherish them every day. I'm very thankful for them today because they really just said, okay, Cher, what can we do to help? You know, we believe in you. We're here for you. And with that, we created this amazing program that we're discussing today.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. And that kind of brings me into brand reputation. It brings me into a brand ambassadorship and how important that is when it comes to building your business, growing your brand. I had a very similar issue happen to me in January, and I mean, I talked about it 1,000 times. I'm not going to bring it up, but like, if it wasn't for my audience, if it wasn't for my clan, my crew, right, my following, something like that could have buried, you know, an online business, right? But it was the brand reputation that you have built over the past decade that made you realize that, like, whatever nonsense that was being said was not true. And that you had enough self-confidence and self-love I have a mindset coach, and we talk about that a lot. As you continue to grow and build your business and grow your brand, you're going to have to love yourself a hell of a lot more and create this thick skin. Because if you're not innovating, if you're not doing cool things, if nobody's going to hate, right? But the minute you start doing these amazing things, the haters are going to surface. And for whatever reason, they're going to start pointing fingers. They're going to start calling names. They're going to start doing some, hideous shit that doesn't make sense. And you're going to ask yourself, why? You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you got to continue to do what you do best and remember why you're serving and remember why you're doing what you're doing. And that's going to change the effing game, and basically just bury those people.
Well, like I said, my mission now is to really grow online, and the town that I live in is a small town, and it's going to be a speck of dust by the time I'm finished, So it's unfortunate, and I put all that behind me now, and I'm super excited for all the amazing things that we're building, and working together to build an amazing brand, and we have this. Our tagline is that your health is non-negotiable. And I also believe that your life is non-negotiable. There are certain things and standards that you need to live to, belief system, values, morals that you stand on. And once people are very clear, once you're also clear on what your foundation is, where you stand, it's very hard to be knocked off of that.
Yeah, no, listen, when you come with that sort of punch, it's like night and day. You can tell the people that are going to be around for a short period of time, and the people that are going to be around for a very long time. And we had a conversation previously, and I said, anytime you start to get a little frustrated or a little discouraged or those types of things, I immediately go to big picture mode. And I always look at, big shout to Colby K for giving me this bracelet. I never took it off since the day you gave it to me, dude, if you're listening. But it says, remember why you started. And anytime I get into that funk, I ask myself, remember why you started. Where are you going? What legacy are you going to leave behind for Dante? How many people do you want to impact this week? And everything, all that negative nonsense goes away. And it's kind of tough and this is why I love you, Sherry, because our motto here at Unique Designs is refuse to give up. I mean, I named my book after it. And I feel like you have that in you so deep where you're not going. And as a single parent, Dante's 8 months old, and me and my wife sometimes go nuts. I couldn't imagine doing this by myself. And so first and foremost, I want to just make sure that that we totally as a single parent, cherish and worship that patience and that drive in you, and definitely has been carrying over into your entrepreneurial career. Definitely, as you can see, the successes that you've created for yourself. So I want to dive into as we round the corner and sort of wrap up here. What are some of the things that you're looking to do in the next 6 months to year with the brand that is really going to, again, increase the value of it and at the same time impact more people?
Well, we want to scale for sure. So my tribe has been very patient with me as I step back just a little bit as I've been working here in my computer, trying to make all the magic happen to scale. And we're actively training a bunch of coaches and instructors so that they get sherified and they end up teaching the same type of information that we want to have. And through that, so we'll be able to offer, more challenges more frequently, and we're going to build up our tribe out that way. I have a book that's scheduled to be released at the end of June So it's Your Health is Non-Negotiable, your total 60-week guide to total transformation. And so our goal is to get 2,500 women in our tribe within the next 18 months. And we're very passionate about that. And we also plan on niching down to help very specific type of professionals and illnesses. So, we may have people who might be dealing with shift work and they have to work overnight, and that totally disrupts their sleep. So we want to be able to speak to those people to understand that because their shift work is totally out of whack, that's going to also impact, their eating habits, their stress levels, their connections with their family, and so on. So we have a lot of exciting plans for the next 18 months. We're excited. We're raring to go. And that's where we're headed.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, for those that want to learn more about your business and your brand, where could we send them?
They could either see my Facebook page where I've shared your video, and they can PM me directly there, or you can go to sherryschallenge.com. So that's Sherry's with an S, SHERRYS, challenge.com. And you'll be able to request a coaching call with either myself or one of my coaches. And our next challenge is actually right around the corner on May 12th. If you check out my wall from today, you'll see I just did a video with one of my challengers. She lost 102 pounds
Wow.
and 55 inches in 6 months with us. She lost her first 50 pounds in the first 6 weeks. She is just, I've put 100 people through the program, and we've had 80 people get those kind of results, anywhere from 20 to 100 pounds lost throughout the time that they've been working with us. So we're getting phenomenal results. You can see a lot of those pictures, video testimonials, and so on my wall as well.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, Sherry, thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing your energy, first and foremost. It's so contagious. And I know a lot of the listeners and viewers are going to feel and pick up on that as well. I believe that is how you truly built this brand. Yes. From the inside out. And
I'm actually quite contained right now, Henry. I mean, all of my listeners that are watching this right now, you're like, nah, you haven't seen anything. She's actually very civilized right now.
I love it. And I truly believe that that's what people need. I mean, you got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to find that right accountability partner. You got to find that right coach, that right mentor. I truly believe as a client, we have to find the right fit, right? In order to achieve the goals, and you a good coach when you meet them. And I truly feel that's why you have it, an 80% retention rate, and, you're changing lives, by the day with your content and with your program. And so, all I can say is just continue to keep doing what you're doing and share your story, share your ups, share your downs. And, you're going to build a massive, massive following, and it's going to be exciting to watch. So real quick, guys, that's a wrap. That's another episode in the books. So just some housekeeping stuff. If you found this episode valuable, I would certainly subscribe to the podcast. And if you haven't shared it with a friend or a colleague yet, please do. And I thank you in advance for that, because if it wasn't for you guys, this podcast would not exist. And for those of you that are avid listeners, if you could do me a quick favor, if you could just write a quick little written review on iTunes, that would be so freaking awesome. You have no idea how much that helps us drive the content and fuel this podcast. And so I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart again for tuning in. Thank you to everyone on the Facebook Live that has joined in and contributed in the comments. Real quick, I want to leave with a great note. Tamara May says, Sherry's program changed my life. I owe her a debt of gratitude. So there you have it, guys. If you haven't checked out Sherry Thacker yet on Facebook, go check her out. She's got an amazing program, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck, Sher.
Thanks, Henry. I appreciate that.
You got it. So have an awesome day, guys, and I will catch you on the next episode.